The Arcturian Group, December 4, 2016. By Marilyn Raffaele. Webpage, www.onenessofall.com. Greetings, dear ones. Again we come together in love and understanding, and with a mutual desire for truth. Each day becomes new as global and individual awareness grows. For as consciousness unfolds and expands, so do its outer expressions. Many of you are beginning to have experiences of synchronicity as you go about your day. Solutions now seem to appear more easily, and issues that previously caused distress or worry no longer feel important. These are the fruits of your expanding consciousness, one that is coming into alignment with truth's grace and harmony. Experiences of grace will continue to increase as you live out from your highest level of awareness, letting the truth you know flow into and through all daily activities. As you allow the truth you know to flow out, more is given. Evolution is a never-ending journey into spiritual awareness, for divine consciousness is infinite. Think of it as an elevator that reaches high into the ethers. One that stops and opens its doors at every floor, allowing passengers to observe or exit. At one stop the view seems so wonderful, so full of interesting people and things that you decide to step out. It takes years to comprehend everything on that floor, and when you do, you decide to remain there permanently, because it is familiar and comfortable. All you will ever have need of is right there. However, just when you are settling in, your higher self steps in, powerfully wake-up calls, causing you to realize that there are many more floors to be experienced, and that you will never see or experience them unless you leave where you are and get back on the elevator. It is very important for anyone firmly embedded in a particular path or tools that helped them to awaken, to understand that there comes a time to let them go. At a certain point in the journey, a continuing dependence upon outer rites, rituals, and tools acts as a block. In order to move to higher levels of consciousness, there must be the willingness to stop giving power to anything in the outer world, in the realization that I already am, and thus need nothing outside of myself to make me what I already am. Give yourselves permission to rest, to enjoy, and feel no guilt for doing nothing at all or simply having fun. The energy closest to divine is the energy of joy. It is time to release the puritanical beliefs that have infected much of mankind's thinking and open to joy, for it is only ignorant beliefs that promote hardship to be the reality. Human beings over lifetimes have become familiar with struggle and suffering, and so there are many who only feel comfortable when in the midst of some sort of dilemma. These dear ones go about their lives seeking it out and stirring it up for everyone around them. The energy of duality and separation attracts experiences of duality and separation, needless negative experiences. Experiences of hardship are often the only way the higher self can awaken an individual, perfectly happy to remain asleep in the illusion, but those of you reading these messages are beyond that state of consciousness, even if when you experience hardship, which at some point in the journey becomes more about clearing than awakening. Anyone living fully in an unawakened three-dimensional state of consciousness is open and receptive to all beliefs floating about in the three-dimensional belief system. These beliefs are impersonal and only become personal when accepted. Since many previous lifetimes were lives of hardship, the energy of difficult experiences often remains stored in cellular memory without a person's conscious awareness, even if they are now spiritually awake. Thus, do not judge yourselves to be failures when and if some foreign negative emotion, thought, or physical experience suddenly pops into your life. Recognize it as the surfacing of cellular memory and see it as a graduation, meaning that you are now evolved and strong enough to look at and permanently clear the energy of something you may have been dragging around with you for lifetimes. Arcturian group wishes to speak about language. Language reflects the state of consciousness of groups or individuals and flows through song as well as spoken and written words. Language often reflects a state of consciousness long outgrown but continued out of habit. Words carry energy. Words are energy. Many beings of light have no names to give you when asked, because they are known by their energy signature, not a spoken sound. The need for language, as you know, will lessen as intuition becomes the dominant form of communication. Words are the three-dimensional world's way of expressing beliefs, concepts, ideas, which flow outwardly on streams of personal energy. Often a sincere student of truth will assume, still thinking within the three-dimensional state of consciousness, that being spiritual means being a quiet, sweet mouse gratefully accepting anything that comes along with hands folded and eyes lifted to the heavens, much like the depictions of saints. Evolution brings with it empowerment, allowing individuals to comfortably speak and quietly live truth, regardless of general societal beliefs, which is exactly how many found themselves tied to a stake in lifetimes of heavy dense energetic belief. Occasionally it becomes necessary to speak firmly to another using words that the other person can relate to. However, when the necessary words flow forth on an energy stream of love, they will have a lifting impact, rather than a depressing impact, especially if the receiver is receptive. It is important for those whose work is helping others sort out their problems, therapists, social workers, prison workers, nurses and doctors, etc., to understand this. As you evolve, you will discover your language becoming more refined with many verbal expressions simply falling away. This is because your energy has become lighter and more refined. You discover that without conscious decision, you no longer feel any need to engage in verbal battles to convince others of your beliefs or opinions. The three-dimensional world has always been a world of distractions, fruitage of the belief that one's good is outside of self. Present-day technology has brought with it an infinite variety of distractions, and although technology is serving to advance the world in many ways, the moment it becomes the god, it also becomes a major deterrent to spiritual growth. There must be times for quiet contemplation, meditation, and spiritual study, for the still quiet voice of soul cannot be heard in the presence of noise and distraction. It is important that parents monitor their children with regard to time spent in technological distractions. Children, in order to unfold spiritually, must be allowed time to do nothing, to play and interact with nature and other children, just being themselves without schedules and electronic babysitters. It sometimes happens that individuals of high energy frighten or inadvertently bring about resistance in others, even when their intent was loving discussion. Some of you may have had the experience of speaking emphatically about something to someone expecting discussion while the other only hears a lecture or judgment. If this happens to you, know that the person is reacting to your energy and not your words. Learn to speak more gently and softly. There is a great deal of pressure in today's world to be politically correct when speaking about almost everything. This concept is a first step toward understanding the importance of words, but is not yet on the level of awareness that knows power lies not in words, but rather in the energy of intent behind the words. Everything is energy. A rose is just as sweet no matter what it is called, and prejudice is prejudice no matter how flowery or politically correct the words describing it. Words can be important tools in helping to identify old energetic patterns. Stay alert to those words and expressions that pop up without conscious thought when you are surprised by the unexpected. Here's some piece of news. or see certain persons. Language is necessary within the third dimension, but will no longer be needed in the higher dimensions where realization of oneness allows knowledge and conversation to be intuitive and silent. Now, and in every moment to come, you will express your ever-expanding consciousness. Let every word you speak reflect this. If you find yourself emotionally involved, pause before saying what you wish to say, remembering that the person or persons you are speaking to are divine beings. We are the Arcturian group,